So what if Maserati isn't owned by Ferrari anymore? It's still owned by FCA, the parent company to Ferrari. So we would expect a Maserati to be sporty, a full red-blooded Italian. And then they make this, the Levante SUV. And is it the closest that we would ever come to seeing a Ferrari SUV? Let's find out.
From preparing winning race cars 100 years back to building exotic sports cars with Ferrari powertrains, Maserati has come a long way. It's a good thing that even a cursory glance at the Levante is enough to stir up strong emotions. The Levante can and will stop you right in your tracks. From the low-set headlights to the bodacious fenders, the Levante is more Grand Tourer sports car than high-riding SUV. As it should be, it's based on the four-door sedan Ghibli platform. The tapering glasshouse and tiny rear quarter windows ending ahead of the rear wheels are what set this anachronistic SUV apart. The triple air vents on the flanks and Maserati Saetta trident on the C-pillar remain as cues of this iconic brand. Seated in the well-bolstered driver's seat, the feeling that time has stood still continues. Ahead of you is a thick, meaty steering wheel with most minimal set of controls we have seen on a luxury car in a long time. Poking through the aperture are twin pods with good old analog dials. What a breath of fresh air in a world of TFT screens replicating rev counters. Don't worry though, the digital display between the two is suitably informative, as is the 8.4-inch central infotainment screen, though once again the interface and colors feel very old school. Despite some controls around the cabin feeling less premium than they ought to be, the overall effect is of plushness. It is a spacious cabin with enough knee room in the rear reclinable seats to be able to comfortably cross my legs. Boot space stands at 580 litres and the seats have a 60/40 folding split for more practicality. Maserati haven't just built the Levante for the backseat driver. Far from it, the diesel V6 under the hood sounds like it's packing some leftover Ferrari genes.
So yes, it's a Maserati and yes, it's a diesel engine, but trust me, this is like no other diesel engine that you've ever experienced. I mean, just listen to it. Okay, I can't believe it's a diesel. The only reason I know it's a diesel is because it has just short of 5,000 RPM redline. Otherwise, the way it responds to throttle inputs, the way it revs, actually pretty clean and nice and linear. Phew. I don't know. It's got something to do with Maserati's Ferrari heritage. Who knows? Ferrari never made a diesel. To speak about the performance of this engine, we're going to put it into Sport Plus, because that's the mode that really awakens the beast. The sports exhaust opens its valves, so you get that nice deep crumble, and the gearbox actually selects a gear lower, and it feels like it's more responsive as well. Of course, you do get paddle shifters as optional on this model, but we've found the gearbox pretty intuitive so far. The paddles just add an extra bit of connection to the driving experience. I don't think many users are going to be reaching for the paddle shifts out of necessity. That's a great thing.
The Q4 AWD system can send up to 50% torque to the front and it's quite entertaining to watch the front-rear split in real time on the driver's display. The Levante also comes with Maserati's Skyhawk adaptive air suspension. It can raise or lower the car up to 40 mm depending on which drive mode you select.
So yes, the Levante rides on air suspension and you have 3 modes to play with varying levels of firmness dialed in. So in comfort over bad roads, the Levante is surprisingly comfortable. It has a very nice plush edge to the ride quality that should be quite good even for passengers in the back. Seated over here in the driver's seat, this does seem like a fairly comfortable SUV, which filters out a lot of what these unfinished roads around Greater Noida are throwing up. Essentially, it is fairly sporty. Now, this car does ride on 20-inch wheels, so of course, because of the low-profile rubber, a lot of the sharper joints, sharper potholes, they filter through into the cabin. But it's not jarring, especially for a luxury SUV. Its low-speed ride is not jarring and it's quite enjoyable actually.
Further providing the Levante's dedication to old world charm, it's the first luxury SUV to come with a mechanical limited slip differential on the rear axle. So squeezing on the throttle restores a near rear wheel drive behavior, with the SUV balancing on the throttle. The Levante is said to have the lowest center of gravity in its class, and for an SUV does have a fine sense of balance. Overall, the Maserati Levante gives a sense of simpler times, with classic Maserati design cues. It even drives in an assuredly direct fashion while still providing great ride quality. The only con is its starting price tag of 1.45 crore. At that price, rivals do more and do it better. But none offer the charm that the Levante carries.